This guy is truly a legend. He is unbelievable. He inspires an entire nation. Whether you're an elder, a university student, part of the army, or a business leader, Manny Pacquiao has impacted all of us. Manny Pacquiao didn't just fight in the ring, he fought for an entire country. While others saw a boxing champ, the Philippines saw a national hero who put them on the map. He turned every match into an event that stopped everything. Businesses paused, streets emptied, and millions tuned in. Can you even imagine that? The whole region, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and even countries like the US, the UK, and South Africa stopped to watch his matches. But here's the real shocker. Pacquiao didn't just win fights, he boosted the Philippine economy in ways you wouldn't believe. How can one person have such a massive impact on an entire region? Let's dive into the untold story of the Pac-Man effect. The rise of Manny Pacquiao, from poverty to boxing legend. Manny Pacquiao's journey to becoming one of the world's greatest boxers is nothing short of extraordinary. Born in the small, impoverished town of Kibawe, in the southern Philippines, Pacquiao's early life was defined by struggle. He grew up in a family with limited means, living in a small shack, and enduring the daily hardships that come with extreme poverty. It wasn't unusual for young Manny to go hungry, or to have no money for school supplies, let alone training gear. His early life wasn't easy. His father had left the family, and his mother had to work hard just to make ends meet. At just 14 years old, Manny had to leave school and work as a laborer to help his family survive. He worked as a street vendor, selling a variety of goods just to get by. Despite these challenges, Manny had a dream. He always knew he had a unique gift, a gift for boxing. Inspired by the fighters he saw on TV, he decided to pursue this dream despite having little to no resources. It wasn't easy for Pacquiao. At first, he fought in local amateur boxing matches for just a few pesos, barely enough to get by. But his talent was undeniable. Manny's raw power, speed, and determination quickly earned him respect in local boxing circles. But this was just the beginning. At the time, there were no guarantees. He had to fight for every win, every opportunity. He slept in gyms, ate little, and faced countless obstacles. But his passion for boxing kept him moving forward. At age 16, he made his professional debut, stepping into the ring for his first fight against a seasoned opponent. Pacquiao's story is not just about the battles inside the ring, it's about the battles he fought outside it. He was an underdog, with very few believing that someone from such a humble background could make it to the top. But Manny's work ethic and heart were his weapons, and with every match, his legend began to grow. As he moved up in the boxing world, Pacquiao's rise to prominence was fueled by his relentless determination and will to succeed. He went on to fight in various weight classes, breaking records along the way, and becoming the first ever boxer to win world titles in 8 different weight divisions. The more Pacquiao achieved, the more his name became synonymous with not just boxing, but resilience, hope, and determination. His success wasn't just a personal victory, it was a win for the Philippines. He became the country's symbol of triumph, proving that anyone, regardless of where they come from, could reach the pinnacle of success with enough grit and perseverance. Manny's story was an inspiration to millions of Filipinos who saw their own struggles reflected in his journey. From fighting in small, dimly lit arenas to stepping into massive stadiums packed with fans worldwide, Pacquiao became more than just a boxer. He was a hero, a man who embodied the spirit of the Filipino people. His story is a testament to the power of resilience, the idea that even the most disadvantaged can rise above and achieve greatness. Now, as a global icon, Manny Pacquiao's impact goes far beyond the boxing ring. He has become a cultural force, a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to give up, no matter how hard the fight may be. And in a country like the Philippines, where millions live in poverty, his rise from nothing to being one of the world's greatest athletes is an enduring source of hope. Pacquiao didn't just fight in the ring, he fought for his country, and with every fight, he brought the Philippines closer to the global stage. Manny Pacquiao's cultural and social impact. Manny Pacquiao's fights were more than just boxing matches. They were national events that brought the entire Philippines to a standstill. When he stepped into the ring, businesses closed, streets emptied, and even crime rates reportedly dropped as everyone tuned in to watch. Whether you were a student, a farmer, a soldier, or a business leader, Manny's matches united Filipinos from all walks of life. He wasn't just a boxer, he was a symbol of hope, someone who represented the fight for a better future. Pacquiao's ability to transcend class, age, and profession is something few athletes have achieved. His story resonated with people across generations. To many, he was living proof that someone from the most challenging circumstances could rise to global fame and success. For young Filipinos, he became an inspiration, a reason to dream bigger and work harder. For the older generation, Pacquiao reminded them of the Filipino spirit, resilient, brave, and determined. Pacquiao's impact didn't stop at the borders of the Philippines. His influence reached neighboring countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia, where people also tuned in to watch his fights. Even in countries like the United States, the UK, and South Africa, his matches were major events, showcasing his global appeal. Pacquiao's ability to unite people, regardless of nationality, made him a true international icon. His fights were broadcast in over 200 countries, and the energy surrounding them was nothing short of electric. On fight days, the Philippine economy would momentarily pause, but the unity and pride Pacquiao inspired were priceless. Families and communities gathered to watch his matches, often in crowded homes or makeshift outdoor viewing areas. The sense of camaraderie he brought was unparalleled. It wasn't just about the boxing, it was about what he represented. The underdog who made it, the fighter who never gave up, and the Filipino who showed the world what they were capable of. Pacquiao's cultural significance also extended to his role as a unifying figure during tough times. In a country often divided by politics, regionalism, and economic inequality, Pacquiao's matches were a rare moment when everyone rallied behind a common cause. When he raised his hand in victory, it felt like a win for every Filipino. It was a moment of pride, a reminder that they could compete and win on the world stage. Even outside the ring, Pacquiao's influence remained strong. His work ethic, humility, and generosity resonated deeply with Filipinos. He donated a significant portion of his earnings to build homes, provide scholarships, and support disaster relief efforts. His philanthropy further cemented his status as a national hero, proving that he cared as much about giving back as he did about winning. But Pacquiao's social impact also had a ripple effect on the Philippine economy. His success brought attention to the country, driving tourism and creating opportunities for local businesses to thrive. Hotels, restaurants, and transportation services all benefited from the influx of fans and media during his fights. Pacquiao wasn't just a fighter, he was an economic force, helping to uplift entire communities. In a world full of athletes, Pacquiao stood out because of his ability to inspire, unite, and uplift. He didn't just represent the Philippines, he represented the best of what the country could be. Every punch he threw carried the weight of a nation, and every victory was a shared triumph. Pacquiao's cultural and social impact goes beyond what can be measured in trophies and titles. It's about the hearts and minds he touched, the dreams he sparked, and the pride he restored in the nation. Economic boost through boxing events. Manny Pacquiao wasn't just a boxer, he was an economic juggernaut. Every time he stepped into the ring, the ripple effects on the Philippine economy were immense. His fights weren't just about sports, they were major economic events that created a surge in activity across multiple industries. From packed arenas to booming businesses, Pacquiao's matches brought significant financial gains to the country. On fight days, businesses across the Philippines saw a noticeable spike in revenue. Bars, restaurants, and local cinemas transformed into viewing hubs, drawing massive crowds eager to watch the Pac-Man in action. According to Philippine economic growth analysts, the revenue generated from food, beverages, and other goods sold during his fights added millions to the local economy. Even street vendors selling snacks and drinks capitalized on the excitement, turning Pacquiao's matches into a day of financial opportunity for small businesses. Tourism was another major sector that benefited from Pacquiao's fights. Fans from around the world, particularly from neighboring countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, flocked to the Philippines to experience the energy of Fight Week. Hotels in Manila reported full bookings, while airlines noted an uptick in flight reservations. Even international fans traveling to watch his fights in the United States contributed to the Philippines' image as a nation worth exploring. Pacquiao's global appeal made him an unofficial ambassador, putting the Philippines on the map for millions who might not have considered it otherwise. But it wasn't just small businesses and tourism that benefited. Pacquiao's matches were a goldmine for broadcasters, advertisers, and media companies. Television networks fought for the rights to air his matches, with pay-per-view sales reaching hundreds of millions of dollars globally. A significant portion of this revenue flowed back into the Philippine economy through taxes, sponsorship deals, and local media partnerships. His fights weren't just entertainment, they were a massive economic machine. According to estimates by Philippine financial experts, a single Pacquiao fight could generate as much as $100 million in global revenue, with a significant chunk benefiting the local economy. This is a staggering figure for a developing nation, showcasing just how impactful his career was beyond the boxing ring. His success also created a ripple effect in the sports industry, inspiring young athletes and boosting the popularity of boxing in the Philippines, which in turn fueled investments in training facilities and sports programs. Even the government reaped the rewards of Pacquiao's success. Tax revenues from his earnings and associated business activities provided much-needed funds for public programs. While controversies about unpaid taxes occasionally arose, there is no denying that Pacquiao's financial contributions were a significant boost for the country. His success inspired investments not just in sports but in infrastructure and tourism campaigns that aimed to capitalize on the global attention he brought. The economic impact of Pacquiao's fights extended internationally as well. Countries like the US, which hosted many of his matches, saw major economic benefits from hosting his fights. Las Vegas casinos, for instance, experienced record-breaking revenues during Pacquiao's bouts, drawing fans from around the world to witness history in the making. These events highlighted the global scale of his influence, proving that his fights weren't just Philippine events, they were global phenomena. At its core, the Pac-Man effect was about more than just money. It was about how one person could bring hope, pride, and economic opportunity to millions. Pacquiao's fights weren't just matches. They were moments that united a nation and gave people a reason to believe in a brighter future. His ability to create such massive economic waves is a testament to his unique role as both an athlete and a national hero. The global reach of the Pac-Man effect. Manny Pacquiao wasn't just a national hero, he was a global phenomenon. His influence extended far beyond the Philippines, reaching fans and economies across continents. From Malaysia to Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and even the United States and United Kingdom, Pacquiao's fights turned into international events. For a few hours, the world would pause to watch one man step into the ring, uniting fans from different cultures and countries. Pacquiao's fights were broadcast in over 200 countries, with millions tuning in to witness the action. For his blockbuster bouts, particularly against legends like Floyd Mayweather Jr., global viewership often reached hundreds of millions, rivaling major sporting events like the Olympics or the Super Bowl. This level of exposure not only elevated Pacquiao's personal brand, but also brought unparalleled attention to the Philippines. For many international fans, Pacquiao was their first introduction to the country, its culture, and its people. The economic ripple effects of Pacquiao's global appeal were immense. In neighboring countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, sports bars and restaurants saw packed houses every time Pacquiao fought. Tourism operators in the Philippines noted an uptick in inquiries and bookings from fans curious about Pacquiao's homeland. Even international brands partnered with Pacquiao, leveraging his global fame to reach millions. Deals with companies like Nike and Nestlé highlighted his ability to transcend borders and resonate with audiences worldwide. In the United States, where Pacquiao fought many of his biggest matches, cities like Las Vegas experienced record-breaking economic activity during his fights. Hotels, casinos, and restaurants filled to capacity, generating millions in revenue. According to reports, his fight against Floyd Mayweather generated a staggering $600 million, making it the highest-grossing boxing match in history. This wasn't just a testament to Pacquiao's star power, but also his ability to draw fans from all corners of the globe. Even in countries without a strong boxing tradition, Pacquiao's story resonated. His humble beginnings, relentless work ethic, and unyielding faith inspired fans everywhere. In places like South Africa and the United Kingdom, where boxing isn't as mainstream, Pacquiao became a household name. His story of rising from poverty to global superstardom made him a symbol of hope and resilience, proving that greatness could come from anywhere. Pacquiao's global impact also extended to the sport of boxing itself. His fights brought renewed interest to a sport that had been struggling to maintain its audience in the face of newer, flashier sports. Promoters around the world credited Pacquiao with revitalizing boxing, drawing in younger fans and inspiring a new generation of fighters. His unique style, fast, aggressive, and unpredictable, set him apart and kept fans on the edge of their seats. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Pacquiao's global influence was how he managed to balance his international fame with his deep connection to his roots. Despite being a global icon, Pacquiao never forgot where he came from. He used his platform to advocate for the Philippines, showcasing the country's rich culture and talent to the world. His humility and dedication to giving back only deepened his appeal, making him a rare figure who was universally admired. The Pac-Man effect wasn't just about economic or cultural impact. It was about connection. Pacquiao's fights were moments when borders didn't matter, and the world came together to celebrate the spirit of competition and the triumph of the human spirit. Few athletes have ever managed to achieve what Pacquiao did, uniting people across the globe while shining a spotlight on his homeland. His global reach was, and still is, a testament to his incredible legacy, symbol of national pride and inspiration. Manny Pacquiao wasn't just a boxer, he was a living embodiment of Filipino pride. In a country often defined by its struggles, economic challenges, natural disasters, and political corruption, Pacquiao emerged as a beacon of hope. His victories in the ring symbolized something far greater: the resilience, courage, and strength of the Filipino people. Every punch he threw felt personal for his fellow countrymen. To Filipinos, Pacquiao's triumphs weren't just his. They were victories for the entire nation. He gave them something to rally behind, something to be proud of. In a world where the Philippines is often overlooked or underestimated, Pacquiao showed that the country could stand tall on the global stage. His rise from poverty to becoming one of the greatest boxers in history reflected the dreams and aspirations of millions of Filipinos. Pacquiao's ability to inspire transcended generations. For older Filipinos, he was a reminder of their resilience during tough times. For younger ones, he was a role model who proved that hard work and determination could break down even the toughest barriers. In every corner of the country, from bustling cities to rural provinces, his story resonated deeply. He wasn't just their champion, he was their voice, their symbol, their hope. But his influence didn't stop at boxing. Pacquiao became a figure of unity during moments of division. In a nation often polarized by politics, religion, and regional differences, Pacquiao brought people together. His fights were moments when Filipinos set aside their differences to cheer for a shared hero. It didn't matter if you lived in Manila or Mindanao, whether you were rich or poor. When Pacquiao fought, the country stood as one. His humility and generosity only deepened his connection with the people. Despite his fame and wealth, Pacquiao never forgot his roots. He used his platform to give back, funding housing projects for the poor, supporting disaster relief efforts, and providing scholarships to underprivileged students. These acts of kindness weren't just gestures, they were reflections of who he was as a person. He showed that being a champion wasn't just about winning in the ring, it was about lifting others up outside of it. Pacquiao's impact extended beyond the Philippines. For the millions of Filipinos living abroad, he became a source of pride and a connection to their homeland. His fights were moments when the Filipino diaspora came together, cheering for the man who carried their flag with honor and dignity. He gave them a reason to hold their heads high, no matter where in the world they were. Even in his losses, Pacquiao's character shone through. He never made excuses, always showing grace and humility. His ability to accept defeat with dignity and bounce back stronger only endeared him further to his fans. He taught Filipinos and the world that true greatness wasn't just about how many times you won, but about how you carried yourself in the face of adversity. Pacquiao's story is a reminder of the power of sports to inspire, unite, and uplift. He wasn't just a boxer, he was a symbol of what the Philippines could be. His journey from a small-town boy to a global icon is a testament to the Filipino spirit, resilient, hardworking, and full of heart. And in a world that often seems divided, Manny Pacquiao proved that one person could bring people together, one fight at a time. The fighter who took his battles beyond the ring. Manny Pacquiao's legacy didn't end when he hung up his gloves. His greatest fight began when he decided to take on the challenges outside the ring: poverty, corruption, and inequality. From being a world-class boxer, he transitioned into a public servant, using his influence to fight for the Filipino people in ways that no one had imagined. Pacquiao's journey into politics started in 2010 when he was elected as a member of the House of Representatives, representing Sarangani province. But this wasn't just a title for him, it was a mission. He built homes for the homeless, funded education for underprivileged children, and provided support for disaster-stricken communities. To millions of Filipinos, Pacquiao wasn't just a fighter, he was a lifeline. For him, helping others wasn't a political move, it was personal. By 2016, Pacquiao had risen to become a senator, taking his fight to the national stage. He advocated for laws that addressed poverty, improved healthcare, and provided housing for millions of Filipinos. But his biggest battle came in 2022, when he ran for president of the Philippines. Pacquiao promised to uproot corruption, a plague he called the biggest enemy of the Filipino people. He pledged to use government resources to serve the poor, ensuring that every Filipino had a chance at a better life. His campaign wasn't just about winning, it was about giving hope. Growing up in poverty, Pacquiao understood the struggles of the everyday Filipino better than anyone. He didn't speak in rehearsed political jargon. He spoke from the heart, sharing his vision of a country where no child went to bed hungry, where families had homes, and where the government served the people, not the elites. But the road wasn't easy. Pacquiao faced powerful opponents, including Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., whose family's name carried immense political weight. Critics questioned Pacquiao's qualifications, mocked his background, and dismissed his ambitions. But Pacquiao didn't flinch. "I may not have a degree from a prestigious school," he said, "but I have a heart for the people. And that's what true leadership is about." The 2022 presidential race became one of the most intense in Philippine history. Pacquiao's campaign drew millions of supporters, from urban centers to remote provinces. His story of rising from poverty to global stardom gave hope to millions who felt left behind by the system. To them, he wasn't just a candidate, he was their champion, their voice. Despite his efforts, Pacquiao's campaign fell short. Bongbong Marcos Jr. won the election, leaving Pacquiao to face his most painful defeat. But in true Pacquiao fashion, he took it with grace. "The fight isn't over," he said. "I will always fight for the people, whether in politics, sports, or anywhere I'm needed." Even after the election, Pacquiao didn't stop helping his people. He continued to build homes, provide scholarships, and support disaster relief efforts. For him, serving others wasn't about titles or positions, it was about making a difference. He proved that you don't need to sit in the highest office to bring change. His fight for the Filipino people was never about power, it was about love for his country. Manny Pacquiao's journey from a young boy with nothing to one of the most influential figures in Philippine history is nothing short of extraordinary. He showed that true greatness isn't just measured by victories but by the lives you touch and the hope you inspire. Pacquiao's battles may have started in the ring, but they will continue long after the last bell has rung.